Afrika Bambaataa is gone. The man who literally named this culture, gave it structure, gave it purpose, and left a wound that hip hop still doesn't know how to talk about. Live Nation just got found guilty of running an illegal monopoly, 86% of the major ticketing market from one company, and they've been charging you the service fee this whole time. David, known for romantic homicide, charged this week with first-degree murder, sexual abuse of a minor, mutilating a body. Her name was Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and she was 14. It's 420 week, so we're going to have a real conversation about hip-hop and weed that the culture actually deserves. And 606 in Gaming is officially a segment. The road to GTA 6 starts today. I'm Doubl R. This is 606 and Go. Top 6. Let's get it. At number 6, and I'm going to take my time with this one, Afrika Bambaataa died April 9th, 68 years old, from prostate cancer. If you know the allegations, let me tell you what you might not know. This man did not just make music. He built a container that all of us are living inside right now. Born Lance Taylor, South Bronx, 1957, a gang kid. But a gang kid with a vision. He looked around his neighborhood and said, what if music does what the streets can't? He created the Universal Zulu Nation, the first hip-hop organization, November 12, 1997. That's the date. He didn't just DJ, he defined what hip-hop even was. The 4 elements: DJing, MCing, breakdancing, graffiti. And added a 5th element: knowledge. Then in 1982, he took Kraftwerk, a German electronic group, and blended it with drum machines, South Bronx energy, and made Planet Rock. The record didn't just change hip-hop, it helped create electronic music as we know it today. Now, I'm not going to pretend the other part doesn't exist. Multiple men came forward with allegations of child sexual abuse dating back to the 1970s. He stepped down from the Zulu Nation in 2016. In 2025, he lost a civil case for sexual abuse and trafficking by default. He never showed up to court. He denied everything until his death. And the community? Divided. KRS once said, if you keep it hip-hop, nothing can be taken away from Bambaataa. Melly Mel said, people in the scene knew for years and said nothing. Curtis Blow, who I have great respect for, called him a foundational architect and said the legacy is complex in the same breath. That's the most honest thing the industry has said. Here's where I land. The architecture is real. I can't love this culture and pretend he had nothing to do with it. And the pain those men carry are also very real. I can't love this culture and look past that either. Hip hop has always asked us to hold the beauty and the wrong in the same space. This is one of those moments. Rest to the music, justice to the survivors, and the culture keeps going. Number 5, and this one is for every artist who ever looked at Ticketmaster fees and felt like the game was rigged. It is. April 15th, 2026, a federal jury in New York found Live Nation and Ticketmaster guilty of running an illegal monopoly. Not under investigation, not allegations, found guilty. Here's how deep this goes. Ticketmaster controls 86% of the ticketing market at major concert venues in this country. It's not just the tickets. Live Nation controls the venues, the booking, the promoters, the management pipelines. One company wrapped around virtually every part of how live music works in America. The states that sued said they drove up fees, killed competition, and bullied independent venues. Sign with us or we'll cut your concerts off. The jury agreed on all counts. Now, what happens next is still playing out. The judge decides the punishment. Some want a full breakup. Live Nation says they're appealing. But here's the thing. Independent hip-hop artists have been rerouting around the system for years, doing DIY tours, SoundCloud drops, TuneCore and DistroKid before the labels even understood what those platforms were. The instinct was always right. The system was always rigged. Now 12 jurors confirmed it. And yeah, the appeal might drag this out. Yeah, the breakup might not happen the way people want, but the fact that this went to trial and the verdict came back guilty, the culture knew first. The courts just caught up. Number 4, and I'm going to be transparent with you because this one is about the space this show lives in. Netflix is in the podcast business now. They signed iHeartMedia, Barstool, Spotify, Bill Simmons, Bob Bones, The Ringer. They're launching 50 to 75 podcast properties just this year. And why? Because last year people watched over 700 million hours of podcasts every single month on their living room TVs. Not earbuds, not commuting, TV, couch, remote in hand. The line between podcast and television are pretty much gone, which means, and here's the part that matters for hip hop, the way the culture gets covered is being rebuilt. And somebody's going to be in that room. The question is who? Because look at what happened to hip hop journalism over the last 10 years. Print has died. Magazine that built this culture, gone or gutted. And what filled the space? Reaction content. Gossip dressed up as news. The DJ academic model, be first, be loud, be everywhere, be wrong sometimes, and just keep moving. That's not journalism. That's content. And content without accountability shapes how artists get perceived before midnight on a Tuesday, and nobody's responsible for what that did. Now, I'm not trying to be Netflix. I'm not trying to be The Ringer. I'm trying to be what 106 in Park was before it got watered down. A hip-hop show that actually loves hip-hop, did the research, and gave you a real take. The media landscape is shifting. There's a room opening up and room closing down at the same time. 606 and Go is building in the opening. Every Friday, 6 a.m. in the morning. That's not an accident. That's a plan. Number 3, and it's the week of 420, so yeah, we are talking about it. Hip hop and weed. Not a playlist, not a here are your top smoke anthems, the actual conversation. Because here's what a lot of people skip over. This culture normalized cannabis 20, 30 years before the law did. Snoop was rapping about it in 92. Cypress Hill built a whole identity around it. Wiz Khalifa turned it into a brand empire. Kid Cudi, a personal inspiration of mine, made weed a part of an emotional vocabulary. Not just a party prop, a feeling, a mood, a coping mechanism. He was honest about it before that was safe. And all that was happening while federal government had weed classified as Schedule 1, same tier as heroin. No accepted medical use. Hip hop told the truth while the law was calling it a felony. Right now in 2026, the president signed an executive order back in December to start moving into Schedule 3. It's still waiting on a hearing. Medical marijuana is legal in 40 states, and 88% of Americans support legalization. There are still people in prison right now for marijuana distribution. And I mean it, like today, not historically, right now. So when we celebrate 420, and I do, I'm not gonna front, I just want us to hold that too. The people who aren't famous enough to be bulletproof, the ones who just had the wrong product at the wrong time, trying to just stay afloat in this world. Their story is a part of this holiday. Hip hop got there first. The law just hasn't finished catching up to the people it locked up along the way. And number 2, and I need you to stay with me, her name was Celeste Rivas Hernandez. 14 years old, Lake Elsinore, California. Her parents immigrated from El Salvador. She loved to sing and dance. Her family said she was beautiful, she was strong, and she always told them she loved them. April 23rd, 2025, 1 year ago this week, Persecuted said she was murdered. April 20th, 2026, 4 days ago, singer David was formally charged. His real name is David Anthony Burke, 21 years old. You know the name from Romantic Homicide, the bedroom pop record that went viral on TikTok in 2022 and turned him into a mainstream artist. Here's what the charges say. September 2025, Celeste's remains were found in the front trunk of a Tesla registered to Burke. The car had been abandoned in the Hollywood Hills, towed to a city impound lot. An employee noticed the smell and then called the police. The Los Angeles DA charged him with first-degree murder, continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14, and mutilation of human remains. The special circumstances. The factors that could make this a death penalty case: lying in wait, financial gain, murdering a witness. The financial allegation is specific. Persecutors say Celeste was threatening to expose what he had been doing to her, and he had killed her to protect his career. He dropped his debut album 2 days after persecutors say she was killed. It debuted at number 13 on the Billboard 200. He pled not guilty. His attorneys say the evidence proves his innocence. That's their right. The trial will tell the story. I just need this show to always know the difference between the music industry story and the real story. The music industry is covering this because an artist with a successful album is facing the death penalty. 606 and Go is covering this because a 14-year-old girl is gone. Those are not the same stories. Celeste Rivas Hernandez. 606 and Go will keep following this case as it moves to trial. And number one, and we're opening a new door tonight, 606 in Gaming is officially a segment on this show. And before I get into the news, let me tell you why this makes sense. Because hip hop and video games have been in the same room since most of us could read. Biggie said Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis on Juicy in 1994. That line wasn't random. That was Biggie telling you what success looked like from where he came from. A console, basic, something most kids have, and he couldn't even picture it. GTA San Andreas in 2004 built this whole world around West Coast hip hop. NWA, Tupac, Too Short, Dr. Dre, even Ice-T was literally a character in the game. Grove Street Gang was inspired by NWA. You were rapping and stealing cars to the same soundtrack. Def Jam Vendetta in 2003 had artists like DMX, Method Man, Ludacris, Ghostface Killah, Playable Fighters. That game basically put a whole rap label in your hands. Kid Cudi, Kendrick, Tyler, Big Sean. Every one of my inspirations grew up on games. That's not a coincidence. That's the same generation. So hip-hop journalism and gaming journalism have been living in separate houses for too long. This show is putting them in the same room. Now, GTA 6. Here's where we are right now. The game was supposed to drop in 2025. It got pushed to May 2026, then pushed again November 19th, 2026. And that's the current day as it stands. It'll be on platforms like PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Rockstar's explanation every time: more polish, more time, trust us. And based on what we're hearing, they mean it. Reports say in December 2025, they brought in voice actors to record 35,000 new lines of dialogue alone. New NPC reactions, cut contents put back in. For context, Red Dead Redemption 2 had over 500,000 lines in total. GTA 6 is expected to go way past that. The development budget is estimated at over $3 billion. Analysts project 40 million copies sold and $3.2 billion in revenue in 1 year alone. This is possibly the most expensive entertainment project ever made. But here's the part I actually want to talk about. The creator economy. Rockstar acquired the team behind D4vd, the PC platform that turned GTA Online into a second life for streamers and content creators who built entire audiences and careers just off GTA roleplay servers. Rockstar relaunched it with an official marketplace. They're hiring creator platform strategists and asking people who understand Roblox, Fortnite, YouTube, Switch, and TikTok. Read between the lines. They're building GTA 6 not just as a game, but as a platform. Content creator Hip Hop Gamer, who has documented history with Rockstar, has been in their office, took pictures with the Take-Two CEO, said this in an interview: "This game will produce millionaires. If you thought GTA 5 was crazy with the RP servers, you've seen nothing yet." And the infrastructure backs it up. Fortnite's first wave of creators still dominate the platforms, earning years later. Early adoption compounds. This is the opportunity. GTA 6 is 7 months away. Fingers crossed. The content wave is coming. The creator economy around this game is going to be enormous. In hip hop, our culture is already embedded in the DNA of everything Rockstar builds. From the crime narratives, the hustle, the street codes, the fashion, the music, the energy, this is our game. 606 in Gaming is going to document every major update, every trailer drop, every intersection between this game and the culture we cover, from now until November 19th. We getting in early, we're planting the flag. Episode 5, April 25th, 2026. The roll starts now. And that's the top 6 at 606 for the week of April 25th, 2026. Bambaataa, the architecture and the womb, both real, both ours to hold. Live Nation convicted, the monopoly got caught. Netflix in the podcast era, and who's going to tell hip-hop's story in the new media landscape? 420, the culture got there first. Don't forget the people still inside while we celebrate. David charged with murder, and her name was Celeste Rivas Hernandez. She was 14 years old. In 606 in Gaming, the road to GTA 6 starts today. Every Friday, 6:06 a.m., 6 stories, no fillers, just the culture. I'm Doubl R. This is 606 and Go. I'll see you next Friday.